Welcome to this presentation on the history and purpose of the Vermont Ready for Kindergarten Survey. This module will provide an overview of kindergarten entry assessments as well as Vermont's unique tool to determine school readiness, the Ready for Kindergarten Survey. It also will include details about how data are collected for the survey and what is new for the 2015-2016 survey. When Vermont received the Race to the Top Early Learning Challenge grant, one outcome was to implement a kindergarten entry assessment, otherwise referred to as a KEA. KEAs are instruments designed to be used statewide to assess kindergarten's development across all essential domains for early learning and school readiness. A primary purpose of implementing kindergarten entry assessments are to inform the design of curriculum, instruction, and provision of other supports in an effort to close achievement gaps early. This is the formal definition of a kindergarten entry assessment from the Race to the Top Early Learning Challenge Grant Guidelines. A kindergarten entry assessment is administered in the first few months of kindergarten. It covers all essential domains of school readiness. It aligns with best practices in early childhood assessment, it is valid and reliable, and it is aligned to early learning standards, for example, Vermont's Early Learning Standards, VELS. This slide represents a visual of kindergarten entry assessments in Race to the Top Early Learning Challenge states. You'll notice variation in the times of year when KEAs are delivered and how many times a year data are collected and reported. This chart represents the variety of tools states are using for their kindergarten entry assessments. States have chosen to either adopt or adapt a commercially available tool, develop or adapt a state-specific tool, or use both state and commercially developed tools. For the past 16 years, Vermont has gathered information on the school readiness of children entering kindergarten. The next slide will discuss what is meant by school readiness. What do we mean by school readiness? There are many interpretations. In Vermont, readiness is multidimensional. It includes social and emotional development, communication, physical health, as well as cognitive development, knowledge, and approaches to learning. For example, enthusiasm for learning, persistence, and curiosity. Vermont's concept also reflects the belief that school readiness is interactional. Children need to be ready for schools, and schools need to be ready to accommodate the diverse needs of children. What is measured by the Ready for Kindergarten survey are called essential domains of school readiness. These domains have been clarified by the Race to the Top Early Learning Challenge Grant Guidelines. The Ready for Kindergarten survey focuses on 5 essential domains of school readiness: health and physical development, social and emotional development, approaches to learning, communication, and cognitive development. It's important to know what the Ready for Kindergarten survey is and what it is not. Let's start with what the Ready for Kindergarten survey is not. It is not a direct assessment of children. Rather, it relies on the accumulated observational knowledge a teacher has developed about children during the first few weeks and months of kindergarten. It is not a gatekeeper. Results on the Ready for Kindergarten survey cannot prohibit a child from entering kindergarten. It is not a high-stakes, standardized assessment that can be used to make placement decisions. Please note that data from this past year's Ready for Kindergarten survey should not be used to make comparisons to data from previous years. Apparent differences in results may be attributed to new methods used in determining and defining school readiness, not to changes in the population of kindergarten students. Any comparisons made are considered invalid. It's also important to know what the Ready for Kindergarten survey is. First, the overall goal of the Ready for Kindergarten survey is to tell us what children know and can do when they enter kindergarten. Second, it is a snapshot of where children are at across key developmental and early learning domains. It gives us information to base future instructional decisions on so that we can individualize, scaffold, and meet the needs of all children. It offers teachers a baseline to measure future progress against. Lastly, the Ready for Kindergarten survey is an opportunity to learn about the developmental needs of children and provides insight on how to guide children's learning and intentional ways. Another benefit of the Ready for Kindergarten survey is to use it to communicate with families about their children's development, to include families in the assessment of their children's current strengths and needs, and as a way to include families as decision makers about their children's education. The Ready for Kindergarten survey covers a range of developmental domains, and children's development on some items may not be observable at school. These may be good items to ask family members about and gather their input. Additionally, young children's skills may vary across settings. Skills that teachers do not see at school might be seen by children's family members at home. Family members can be a great source of information. One way teachers may collect information from families is by sharing easy-to-fill-out questionnaires with family members that ask questions related to items on the Ready for Kindergarten survey. This information can help supplement the data collected by teachers in their classrooms. Tapping into family member insight can often offer ideas of family member values and beliefs. Schools could use this information to check whether or not they are truly ready to meet the needs of each and every child and family. This process also can help with family engagement and for building partnerships together, especially in the first few months of a new school year. A common question asked is, what does the state do with this data? First, the Ready for Kindergarten survey results are designed to be used by teachers to assist children's learning in the classroom through curriculum planning and assessment. Second, the process of completing the Ready for Kindergarten survey may help engage families in learning more about their children's development and its relationship with early elementary school curriculum and instruction. At the state level, data gathered by the Ready for Kindergarten survey can be used to determine the extent to which children in Vermont are considered ready for school. The results also can help identify supervisory unions or supervisory districts that may need more support to help children achieve educational outcomes. Statewide Ready for Kindergarten survey data also helps officials understand what kinds of professional development may be most helpful for teachers and most needed to achieve essential early learning outcomes for young children. The state collects Ready for Kindergarten survey information and aggregates it into several different reports. There's a statewide report of outcomes. Supervisory unions or supervisory districts receive a report of their kindergartners' performance, and teachers may receive a classroom-level report. It is important to emphasize that the data collected by the Ready for Kindergarten survey is not just to report child outcomes and developmental levels to the state. The data collected through the Ready for Kindergarten survey should be used as a way to gather baseline data on children's educational abilities at the start of kindergarten. This data helps promote data-based decision-making and influences the instructional strategies, activities, and curriculum implemented by teachers. Similar to how the data is used at the state level, supervisory unions or supervisory districts may use the information collected to inform where and what types of professional development activities are needed. In the fall of 2014, 104 Vermont kindergarten teachers were recruited to complete both the original Ready for Kindergarten survey and a pilot version. The pilot version had revised items, new items, and a scoring rubric. Much of the revision process involved developing rubric descriptions that better distinguish the levels of mastery for each Ready for Kindergarten survey item. Teachers also completed a brief questionnaire to clarify concerns about specific items, ease of using the Ready for Kindergarten survey tool, and suggestions for future support or administration of the Ready for Kindergarten survey. The 2015-2016 Ready for Kindergarten survey marks the deployment of a new survey instrument. The new Ready for Kindergarten survey, along with its scoring and readiness identification methods, is based on recommendations made as a result of an independent validity review conducted by American Institutes for Research, AIR, funded by Vermont's Race to the Top Early Learning Challenge Grant and private funders. The new Ready for Kindergarten survey also includes new and revised questions, including 6 in the health and physical development domain. Across the 5 essential domains of school readiness on the Ready for Kindergarten survey, there are 34 questions. These questions might also be referred to as items. On 28 of those questions, kindergarten teachers are required to rate each child's skills as beginning, practicing, or performing independently. 6 additional questions related to health and physical development ask teachers to disagree, somewhat agree, or strongly agree. For example, teachers may be asked, a child arrives rested and maintains an energy level necessary for learning throughout the day. Teachers respond for each child whether they disagree, somewhat agree, or strongly agree with that statement. Using responses to these questions, children can be placed into one of 4 new categories of readiness, which are listed here. Students whose total scores fall into the categories of ready and practicing or ready and performing independently are identified as ready. Thank you for watching this module on the purpose of kindergarten entry assessments and the history and future of Vermont's unique tool to determine school readiness, the Ready for Kindergarten Survey. Other modules available to support your understanding of Vermont's Ready for Kindergarten Survey focus on the 5 essential domains of school readiness, and we encourage you to explore them further.